That's right, working in the garage. What are you doing?
Fix my picture.
Are you fixing your painting?
Oh it's not a painting. They're professional photographs.
Oh, well, they were all twisted in there and you had to remove the backer and...
And then I gotta put so I put double facing tape on the back of the picture so they stay in place.
Oh, okay, so they stay in place. They were all just drifting around? Okay.
Yeah.
Our guard dog. What's up? Jesus Christ. You poor little thing. But anyway, this video is all about tools. And if you want to run a handyman, start a handyman business or anything like that, really you got to have a massive variety of tools. So I'm gearing up actually for a job at the hospital. I've been there already all day Friday. I got to go back Monday. And anyway, just to give you a quick overview, I got the van here and I'm going through everything. So this is just kind of some basic things that you need: ladders, all kinds of odd and end hand tools, drills, stud finder, pneumatic tools, sheetrock tool, sheetrock screw tool, of course all the batteries, lights, portable saws, charging station, a little bit of everything as far as your hand tools are concerned. And you got to keep your batteries charged, obviously. You definitely want a cut saw. And I use this Milwaukee a lot. Cutting steel, cutting whatever I need it to. So that's your basic battery assist hand tools, okay? And of course these are sorted. I got to go through here and straighten it all out. It's a little bit of a mess, but you need these multiple different types of screws, drills, nuts, Phillips flatheads. Just, you need all this stuff. Okay. It's always good to have a van. A van's more useful in a lot of ways. Got to have a trash can, a basic broom, but a van is the best to have for keeping your tools inside, locked up, and also to haul around big, long ladders, okay? Because you always want to have a big assortment of ladders. And everything from a little small step ladder, to a 32-footer. You're going to need it. If you want to make money, remember you're a handyman. You're trying to go into the handyman business. So I get asked all the time, what's your setup? And believe me, I got, wind is picking up. They're talking about 40%, maybe 30% chance of rain this afternoon, but just everything's really nice and fluffy. But yeah, okay, you need a small vacuum cleaner. You definitely need a nail gun. I got a brad nailer in there, and I've got the big stud frame nailer. Compressor. And my brand is Hitachi, period. The compressor and also the Pneumatic. It's all Hitachi. I've had these for years. Never failed. Buckets, paint buckets. You need these. You're going to do a lot of painting. All your assortment of sheetrock repair, tape, for decks, walls, caulk, tape, brushes. You need that. Another thing you're going to need is a massive assortment of screws and whatnots and odd and end stuff, man. Always carry caution tape, always. Okay, but you just need an assortment. You need a cart. You definitely need a cart. Handsaw, gloves, extension cord bucket, carpenter squares. You need those. Mixed fuel. That's my most important tool, believe it or not, is that handheld blower. You need to keep a bush cutter inside your van, and there's an obvious reason for that. Because if you're working on a house, and especially these big estates, they've got the bushes are literally up against the siding, and you got to trim back a lot of damn bushes sometimes just to get at the house. But anyway, little jigsaw. This is my Dremel. You gotta have a Dremel, man. Don't leave home without a Dremel. Assorted, all kinds of brushes, and hole saws, you know, just assortment of stuff there. You're never gonna be in business if you don't have one of these. I've had this 8 years, and this is the best damn saw I've ever had, by Bosch. You're gonna need all kinds of impact tools, cut tools. Just need them. Hammer drills. That red one is a Craftsman hammer drill. You're gonna need it. Then you're gonna need a bag of tools, hammers, levels, squares, wrenches, vice grips. More of the same. Sheet metal cutting tools. You know, just all kinds of different angle cutting tools that you need. Staple guns. You know, just a variety of stuff there. Sanding equipment. Oh my God, you need a belt sander, a vibrating sander, you know, a flat sander, you know, trash bags, all kinds of stuff for sheetrock work. Blankets. You need tons of these drop cloths, tons of them. A small step ladder. You got to have one of these. Then you have your 5-footer. Keep a rake in here. I keep a rake. Also, too, I'm cleaning it out and organizing. More extension cords, PVC saw, levels, all kinds of clamps. Okay, caulk gun. Let's go back here. Keep 2 of these in the van. You're gonna need them. And then more assorted stuff, man. Always keep 1 gallon of this. Super paint. Paint and primer, exterior acrylic. You're always gonna, I go through gallons of this stuff a year. And it matches pretty much all the trim on most houses. More screws. So I gotta, since I'm here, I've got to create me another rack system right here, like I've got right there. So that's my project for today, is to figure something out. And I've already got something figured out. I just have to get to work and put it in place. Good morning. All right, let's get serious. When I started this business, the first thing I bought was the van. The van is the most important possible thing that you got to get to the job. You got to look like you're ready to work. You got to look like you're a worker, okay? You got to look like you're a worker. I mean, if that shot right there doesn't say it all, it says it all. Because this is your basics. Wait till you need bigger stuff. You know, tile cutting saws, you know, chop saws, you know, table, you know, all kinds of different bigger pieces of equipment. If you're going to get into concrete work, I do a lot of concrete work, but I don't keep the concrete tools in this van. I got a 40-foot shipping container full of my overflow tools, and also do power washing. That's another entire rig, okay, of tools that you got to have. A whole different rig. So let's simplify it. I bought the van first 15 years ago, a Chevrolet Express with a 6-liter. This van is rated, as far as for a handyman, this is the best one you can buy, okay? 244,000 miles on it, and it still rock and rolls, air blows cold, and it runs. It's dependable. You know, this van has made me way over $1.5 million. So I owe basically my livelihood to the van. You get my point on that? Okay. Then the second thing you need is a good box of basic hand tools and an electric drill. Okay, that's where I started. A basic bag of hand tools and an electric drill. Basically, I started off with this. And then it expanded into years and years of collecting. And also, too, I sold a lot of tools at the flea market because these are one-off tools that I'll never, ever use again, all because it was for very specific jobs. Now, I know you guys know about that because you'll buy a tool and use it 2 or 3 times, and then it sits for 4 or 5 years, and you're like, damn, I got $300-400 invested in that tool, and then I never use it again. Well, welcome to the club. That's why sometimes every 5 years I'll go through everything and say, you know what, I don't need this anymore, and I take everything to the flea market, or I put it on Craigslist and sell it, man. And stay with the basics. Always stay with the basics. So that's kind of the deal there. Plus, you also too want to have a first aid kit. Don't forget your first aid kit. And tons of measuring tapes, tons of them. Oh God. And being I work for the hospital, I of course got to keep my badge, my contracts. You know, you got to have all your paperwork, your pencils, your safety glasses, you know, just all the stuff, chargers for your phones, you know, your heavy duty gloves, you got to have those. And, you know, it just, the list goes on and on and on of just things that you got to have just to run the very most basic successful handyman business. You'll get invested $5,000 to $6,000 to $7,000 in hand tools, and then you'll also spend anywhere from, like I did when I bought the van. It cost me $4,100, but I've already spent over $6,000 on it over the years keeping it running. So I got 10 grand in the van, easy. So there you go. That's how you run a successful handyman business, how you started, what equipment, your basic equipment you're going to need, and just basically, you know, that's what you got to do, man. Well, I'll talk with you guys probably in a couple of days because today's Sunday. I'm not going to be able to upload this video until Monday night. So leave those comments, opinions, and thanks for having one of my videos go viral. That video I did when we were in West Virginia, that crackheads break in War, West Virginia, crackheads break in. It just broke 23,000 views in 7 days. Thank you very much. I love you. You know me, Tom. Like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, leave those comments, and I'll talk to you not tonight, but another night.